Have you ever wondered if you might be slowly damaging your own reputation without even noticing? The truth is, there are small habits, things we often dismiss as harmless, that silently chip away at how others see us. They don't ruin your image overnight, but little by little, they eat away at trust and respect. Until one day you look around and realize people don't treat you the same anymore. In today's video, we're going to shine a light on 4 toxic habits that do exactly that. They hide in plain sight, disguised as everyday behaviors, but they quietly push people away and leave your reputation weaker than you ever intended. And here's the difficult part. Most of us repeat them daily without even realizing it. But there's hope. If there's one philosophy that can help us strip away excuses and see these patterns clearly, it's Stoicism. The Stoics believe that respect isn't something you demand, it's something you earn through your actions, one small choice at a time. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." In other words, stop debating, start embodying. And Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic minds, put it even more directly. The greatest sign of wisdom is to observe yourself with honesty. That's what this journey is about, looking within, with courage, without masks, without excuses. Because the moment you begin to see yourself honestly, you also begin to change how the world sees you. So, grab a coffee, settle in, and get ready. What we're about to uncover might feel uncomfortable, but it will also be liberating. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which habits are silently sabotaging your respect and how to start replacing them today. 1. Gossiping, the silent poison of respect. Let's start with the first habit, one that looks so innocent you might not even notice it: gossiping. We've all been there, chatting with friends, co-workers, or classmates, and suddenly the conversation turns to someone else's life. It feels casual, even bonding. But gossip is never harmless. It's a silent poison. The moment you participate, even without bad intentions, you send a loud message: I cannot be trusted. Think about it. If someone gossips to you, what makes you believe they won't gossip about you the moment you leave the room? That seed of doubt alone is enough to weaken respect. I remember back in college, gossip was practically a sport. Who was dating who failed an exam, who embarrassed themselves at a party. It was constant. One time, a private detail about a quiet classmate spread through the group, and within days, she completely shut herself off. That single incident left a scar on her and a lasting impression on everyone who saw it unfold. The Stoics warned against this trap centuries ago. Epictetus said, "If you hear something, don't repeat it. If it doesn't concern you, don't say it." Gossiping lowers you, even if others laugh along. And here's the harsh truth. People are always watching. They notice what you choose to say, even when they stay silent. They're asking themselves, if this person talks about others like this, what do they say about me? So how do you stop? By choosing conversations that elevate. Instead of feeding on other people's mistakes, talk about ideas, goals, and lessons. Remember that old saying, small minds discuss people, average minds discuss events, great minds discuss ideas. Every day you decide which group you want to belong to, and that choice determines whether people see you as someone worth respecting or someone they quietly walk away from. 2. Being unreliable, when your word loses value. The second habit that quietly destroys respect is one we often underestimate: being unreliable. We live in a world where people make promises faster than they can keep them. I'll be there. I'll help you. I'll call you back. The words sound good in the moment, but when they're not followed through, they start to rot from the inside out. And here's the truth. When your word loses its value, you lose value with it. I learned this the hard way. A close friend of mine, let's call her Emily, spent weeks planning her birthday party. She poured her heart into every detail: the decorations, the music, even the food. I promised her I wouldn't miss it for the world. But when the day came, I got distracted with something else and thought, I'll just send her a quick text later. By the time I did, the party had already started. Her reply was polite, but it was cold. And in that moment, I realized it wasn't just a party I missed, it was her trust. The Stoics placed enormous weight on the integrity of one's word. Seneca once wrote, "Nothing is more valuable than the commitment of a person of integrity." Reliability isn't about making grand promises. It's about showing up consistently in small ways. It's being on time, meeting deadlines, and most importantly, being honest about your limits. If you know you can't do something, don't commit. If something changes, communicate early and with respect. Think about it. Talent can get you noticed, charisma can get you liked, but without reliability, none of it lasts. In professional life, unreliability can close doors you didn't even know were opening. In personal life, it chips away at relationships until they fade. Respect isn't built in big, flashy gestures. It's built in the quiet repetition of keeping your word. So ask yourself, are your promises lifting your reputation or slowly tearing it down? 3. Interrupting others. When your anxiety speaks louder. Sometimes losing respect doesn't come from big betrayals, but from the little habits we repeat without thinking. One of the most damaging, interrupting people when they speak. On the surface, it feels small, maybe even harmless. You might think you're just adding energy to the conversation or showing enthusiasm. But every time you cut someone off, you're sending a message you may not realize. What I have to say is more important than what you are saying right now. And over time, that message erodes respect. I remember early in my career, I was full of ideas and eager to prove myself. In meetings, I couldn't hold back. If I disagreed, I interrupted. If I had a suggestion, I jumped in. To me, it felt like contribution. But to others, it looked like arrogance. Until one day, my manager pulled me aside and said, "You're always ready to speak, but rarely ready to listen." That hit me like lightning, because she was right. I wasn't listening. I was just waiting for my turn to talk. The Stoics understood this deeply. Epictetus, who started life as a slave and became one of the greatest philosophers of antiquity, taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, to listen more and speak less." Listening isn't weakness, it's wisdom. When you let people finish, you show humility, patience, and self-control. Since then, I've practiced what I call Stoic listening. When I feel the urge to interrupt, I take a breath and ask myself, does this need to be said right now, or can it wait? That tiny pause changed everything. People began to see me not as someone anxious to prove myself, but as someone calm, balanced, and worthy of trust. Respect doesn't come from speaking the loudest, it comes from listening with presence. And in today's noisy world, that kind of respect is rare and powerful. 4. Complaining excessively. When negativity becomes your identity. We've all complained about the weather, the traffic, a boss who doesn't appreciate us. At first, it feels like release, a quick way to vent the pressure inside. But when complaining turns into a habit, it stops being a relief and starts being an identity. People begin to associate you not with strength or solutions, but with negativity. And little by little, they distance themselves without even realizing why. I fell into that trap myself. There was a period in my life when nothing seemed good enough. If it rained, I complained. If it was hot, I complained. If someone treated me unfairly, I replayed it over and over like a broken record. Until one day, a friend told me bluntly, "Man, it seems like nothing is ever enough for you." At first, I felt defensive. But later, those words echoed in my mind. And they hurt because they were true. I had become addicted to the role of the victim. The Stoics teach us something different. Don't waste your energy fighting reality. If it's within your control, take action. If it isn't, accept it with serenity. Complaining won't stop the rain. It won't make traffic move faster. But your attitude, that can change everything. So I began to shift. Instead of complaining, I asked, what can I do about this? If the environment was toxic, I left it. If something went wrong, I searched for the lesson. If nothing could be changed, I took a breath and moved on. That one shift didn't make me blind to problems, it made me lighter. And people noticed. Want to test yourself? Reflect. Do you talk more about problems or solutions? Do people feel drained after spending time with you or energized? Your outlook works like a radar. It finds what you train it to find. Train it to see possibilities, not just obstacles. Because respect is born not from constant complaints, but from the energy you carry into every room. So let's bring it all together. Today, we uncovered 4 habits that quietly but powerfully erode respect. Gossiping, being unreliable, interrupting others, and complaining excessively. On their own, each may seem small, but stacked up, repeated day after day, they shape how people see you and even worse, how you see yourself. The good news is, every single one of these habits can be replaced. You don't have to gossip. You can choose conversations that inspire. You don't have to break your word. You can build trust with consistency. You don't have to interrupt. You can practice stoic listening and earn respect through presence. And you don't have to complain. You can act on what's in your control and accept the rest. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." I would add this: the best way to earn respect is to be unlike the majority. Because most people give in to gossip, unreliability, impatience, and negativity. But you don't have to. You can choose differently. Respect isn't something you demand with loud words. It's something you cultivate quietly through daily discipline and self-awareness. And when you start respecting yourself, your time, your word, your energy, the world begins to mirror that back to you. So here's my challenge for you. Ask yourself, which of these 4 habits shows up most in my life? And more importantly, which one am I ready to change starting today? Drop the phrase, "I choose to be worthy of respect," in the comments to make it real. Not just for you, but for this community of growth we're building together. If this message spoke to you, like the video, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom every week. Remember, your reputation isn't destroyed in a day, and it isn't rebuilt in a day. It's the sum of small, daily choices. Choose wisely. If this video gave you value, don't forget to subscribe. Every week we bring you timeless Stoic wisdom, powerful life lessons, and practical tools to protect your peace and build inner strength. Join our community today. Grow calmer, stronger, and wiser with us.